Welcome in, Ages Talk Sports. This is our UFC Fight Night podcast. Hope you like the retro, old school UFC intro music. It's freaking sick. And yes, it's edited because I'm an editing machine. Anyway, so let's get into the fights. Just going to jump right on into it. It might be a short show, but who cares? Ready for this? I'm only going to do the 5-leg parlay in the main card. So we're doing the 5 picks. And I might just sneak on over to my BetMGM and tell you who I picked on that. But we'll get to that. I don't have it up yet, but that could be some bonus picks for you. So Kape versus Amabayev. I believe that's how you say his name. It looks like Kape or Kape, but I believe it's Kape. Like, put the cape on if he's from Portugal and the other guy is from Kazakhstan. But we're not going to get into that yet. We're going to drop down to the first fight in the welterweight division with Barlow versus Patterson. And Patterson is from England. Barlow is, I believe, he is from the United States. So it's the cross the pond matchup. Now, Danny Barlow is undefeated, by the way. He's 6'2". This is, like I said, it's going to be the 170-pounders. And he is on a fight streak. He just got a split decision back in August 10th, and he won back in February 17th, just a year ago, by knockout in the third round with 1:18 against Quinlan, if that's how you say his name. I'm not even going to pronounce the guy he just fought back in August, Veretnikov, I think is his name. So he has 5 wins by knockout, 1 by submission, and he has 5 first-round finishes. So this guy is a brawler. He's a left-hander too, so he's a southpaw. This is why I like him. If you watch some of his highlights, the dude can bang, and I love bangers. And he has a 51% striking average. He doesn't even try to take you down. He's got 5.72 significant strikes landed per minute. So he's throwing the leather. And then he also absorbs it as well with 3.48 significant stripes absorbed per minute. 52% defense, 100% takedown defense so far, and an average fight time of 9 minutes, knockdown average 0.54. And I believe it's going to be a stand-up battle. He's going to try to keep it standing. He fights 92% of the time on stand-up, by the way. Doesn't really take it to the ground. He goes after the head, targets a lot. So it's going to be I think it's going to be a pretty good matchup, and I think Dawson's going to obviously get the win, or Danny Barlow is going to get the win on this against Sam Patterson, but it's going to be a banger. Patterson's 12-2 and 1 with no contest. Pretty close with the reach, pretty close with the advantage there. They're both almost the same height, but Danny Barlow is going to stay undefeated, and he's going to get the dub, so pick Danny Barlow. Now, this is Haider Amil versus William Gomis, if I can say that pronounce correctly. I have to pick an underdog here, and if I'm going to pick an underdog, it's going to be this one with Haider Amil, and he is an undefeated. So we got back-to-back undefeated fights going into the main card. They're both coming off wins. The dude's coming from the Philippines, but he has a significant reach disadvantage because he's 5'9", fighting a 6-footer in the featherweight division at 145. But surprisingly, Gomis only has a 3-inch reach advantage on the Philippine. So looking at he's got 6 wins by knockout, 1 win by submission, and 2 first-round finishes. He just beat Lee back in July on his fighting streak here, and he's won at least back-to-back, and almost by my birthday, February 10th, last year, he won by knockout in the second round with 2:12 left. So Garcia versus Amil, that was a good one, and Amil gets the fight and gets the win, gets the knockout, 6 by knockout, 1 by submission. We just talked about that. Now he has a 57% striking advantage, 33% takedown accuracy. He mixes it up pretty well, and he's got a 6.3 significant strikes landing per minute, and he absorbs less, so he has a pretty good defense, and he takes it to the ground, and he can strike you as well and get you a knockout. So the dude's pretty sick either way. 76% stand up and 16% on the ground, and kind of clinches, and he's a headshot targeter too. And I think it's going to be Amil gets the win by knockout in the third with a minute in the fight. That's what I'm just guessing. But 2 undefeateds, I'm taking them. And Hyder Amil is the underdog here, and give me that underdog pick. There's your underdog pick of the night. Stepping up in the lightweight division with 3 fights. This is going to be the middle of the pack here. Nasrat Hakparst, I think that's his name, from Morocco. Esteban Ribovics. This is a plus 215 and a minus 265 for the Argentinian. And of course, we're going to do the Argentinian El Gringo. And he, just won back in September against Zeluber. So there's that. 7 wins by knockout, 5 wins by submission. Got the split decision, so it was a really close fight versus Zeluber. And he's going to try to prove himself, and that it's not going to go to the refs or the cards. So McKinney versus Ribovics back in May, he won. And then he won again versus Kirk back in July 8th of 2023. So 2 fights last year, 1 split decision, and 1 big-time knockout in 37 seconds. And I love the brawlers. I love the stand-and bangers. He's a 49% striking accuracy, a little bit lower than the last 2. But he also can take you down and ground and pound with a 67% takedown accuracy with only 3 takedowns attempted. He strikes more than the last 2 with 7.53, but he does absorb a lot at 4.9, almost 5 absorbed strikes, significant strikes per minute. And he does take down with a takedown average of 0.64 per 15 minutes, so he only did it 3 times. Significant strike defense, he's at 58% with the takedown defense of 61. So there's a possibility that he can get taken down, but he is a 90% standing up. And the dude's a freaking beast. He's a brawler. We're going to have triple 1, 2, and 3 strikeout brawlers here. And it looks like he can also work the ground as well, because he has 5 wins by submission, 7 wins by knockout, and 7 first-round finishes. So Esteban Ribovics, El Gringo. That's the white dude or something. Gringo's white, I believe, but I don't know what it means in Argentinian. All right, next fight, we're going into the co-main. Cody Brundage versus Julian Marquez. And I have looked up Julian Marquez a little bit. He come across my Instagram page the other day, and here is the fact of the day for this fight in the middleweights. And he's at minus 115. This is a pick'ems fight. Cody's at minus 105. Marquez at minus 115. And the fact of the day is he's done 3 different types of submissions so far in the UFC, which puts him at only 72 fighters ever in the UFC in history has ever done so. And we're going to be looking at Marquez right now. The Cuban Missile Crisis. If you don't like that nickname, then get out of here. All right, 9-5, 6 wins by knockout, 3 wins by submission, 4 first-round finishes. The fight's getting ready to come on the main card at 7 o'clock Eastern Time tonight. So I'm trying to drop this real quick. I might not even be able to edit anything down because it's almost 1 o'clock right now. So I'm trying to get all these fights in before the main card here. So he's got a 45% strike accuracy. Takedown accuracy is at 0%, so he gets taken down. 4.8 striking landed, 5 absorbed, 51% defense, 53% takedown defense. He's 64% stand-up, 15% ground, and clinch at 21%. So he's going to take it around all over the place. And he's a head striker, too, with a target. And he just lost to Reese in the last fight back in June of last year by knockout. So he's going to try to redeem himself on that. And then when he fought Barlow, Canadian, I believe he's Canadian, I'm not sure, but March 4th of 2023. So he only had 1 fight last year, lost. Only had 1 fight in 2023. He won, but he did his biggest fight there. He beat Rodriguez, RoboCop, and he's a freaking stud. But that was back in June 18th of 2022, and he lost. Rodriguez took him out. So he's kind of been dropping around in the division. He got the win in 2023 by knockout with 4:12 left in the second. Then he lost against Reese. So he's going to try to redeem himself, try to stay in the UFC. He's going to have to fight smart, but go after him. It's going to be tough against Cody Brundage. But it is a pick'ems. Give me Marquez. And now we're in the final fight with Kape and Alimayev. And at number 6 and at number 8, Portugal versus Kazakhstan. Give me the -218 Manel Kape, the star boy, 20-7, 12 wins by knockout, 5 wins by submission, 9 first-round finishes. He beat Silva back in December 14th of 2024, which is just a couple months ago. An easy win. Came off fresh. Knockout in the third round with 1:57. Doesn't have any marks on him. He's ready to rock and roll, but he did lose back in July. So he went 1-1 in last year, and he beat Dos Santos back in September 9th, 2023 by unanimous decision. But he's going to want to take it to him. And he's at 56% striking accuracy, 33% takedown accuracy. He does significant strikes 5 times, only 4 significant strikes absorbed per minute. This is per minute, by the way, not times. 59% significant strike defense, 77% takedown defense. And he has a total of 11:58 average fight time, so you could take him into deep waters, and it won't do anything to him. He'll take you all the way to the third round. I do not know if this is a 3-round fight or a 5-round fight. It might just be a 3-round, but don't quote me. We're out of February into March 1st, and it seems like kicking off the month of March with some UFC fights before UFC 313. I have ESPN Plus. I had to get it, had to buy it, and it's only $20 actually a month if you do the whole bundle, by the way, which isn't that bad. I had to get rid of Amazon Prime, though. Sorry, Amazon. You gone. That's twice I did that in this show, which is hilarious. We're going to take a look at my bets real quick. So those are the last 5-leg parlay that I had. Amil, Lane, Ribovics, Marquez, and Kape. And that's going to pay out quite a bit with $10. That's a $527 payout. Monies. So I'm not going to tell you all of it. There is a cash out option on mine on that one, on the 5-legger. But there is no cash out option on the 5 and another 6-legger that I did. So we got another $10 on Johnson, Silva, J.J. Aldrich, Castaneda, and Mariscal. So that one it was like my safe pick bet, which probably won't even hit. Now that one only pays out $44.70. Now we're going into our 6-legger. This one's going to be a good one as well, but I only threw a 5 spot on it. I don't spend that much. Folks out there, if you're betting, only throw the money out that you can. Don't be trying to chase bets. Don't do that. It sucks. And it's not fun. I've tried it one time. I actually won back in July doing that, but I'm not doing that again. So don't do it. Barlow. I got Barlow. I'm pretty much making the same exact picks as the next one. It looks like I am. Barlow, Amil, Lane, Ribovics, Marquez, and Kape. Those I did. I just added an extra one in there. So hopefully I added Lane, Ribovics, Amil, Barlow. Yes, yeah, Barlow was the one, the 6-legger one added in. So it's a plus 69.28 is the 6-legger, and the 5-legger is a plus 5.171. So that's just, I did the first fights. I always do the first 5 and and the final 5 main card, and then I'll just randomly pick some in the middle. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this show, and let me know how you think. Please comment. You can also check in on my link tree. I'll try to put that in the description as well. You can look at my social media, message me, tell me how I'm doing. This is the first UFC fight of the year for me on the podcast, Age of Let's Talk Sports. So check it out. Love you guys. God bless. Tip the waitress.